What did your friend, male or female, do that accidentally turned you on? Our whole group went to a club. He said something, I didn't hear it. He leaned in and said it into my ear. That risked 2 decades of purely platonic friendship. I still didn't catch what he said. I went to my friend's place to play Dungeons and Dragons. She made us all chicken stew. After the game, I went to wash the dishes to help her clean up. I turned, and she touched my chest with her hand, looked straight into my eyes, and said, I don't need help. Nothing explicitly sexual, but she held her gaze and her hand on my chest a little longer than expected. Long story short, we're married now. We were joking, and suddenly she turned, grabbed my neck, and lightly choked me. My life was never the same after that. My friends were talking about trichotillomania, when people pull out their own hair because of a mental disorder, and somehow made me their demonstration model, probably because my hair reaches my hips. One of them kept gently pulling my ends, so another friend grabbed my hair near the roots and yanked so hard my head jerked. It was a complicated moment for me. We were drinking at a party, and someone handed me a shot. I said, this will definitely knock me out. He looked at me and gently said, don't worry. I'll take care of you. I immediately downed the shot. She gave me a ride to the airport. I thanked her, kissed her cheek, and turned to leave the car. As I was getting out, she said, that's it? I turned, we locked eyes. My heart started racing. I suddenly didn't want to leave. We hugged, not as friends for the first time. I remember holding her in the car, not wanting to let go, feeling an overwhelming rush of feelings I had never allowed myself to notice before. I remember landing at my aunt's place, planning to stay for a few weeks. She said I looked like someone had broken my heart. I knew then I had fallen in love with my best friend. We've been together since the day I came back home. We recently celebrated our 18th anniversary. One night, I was dancing with a friend. In one move, I thought he was going to dip me, but instead, he spun me around. My mistake was obvious, and he couldn't miss it. In the end, he did dip me and said, this time, I saved you. He had no right being that sexy in that moment. She tilted her head, only girls can do it that way, as I was talking about methicillin-resistant staph infections, we study medicine. She listened with a half smile, eyes locked on mine. That combination of gaze and smile twisted my stomach, and I started stuttering. It happened about a week ago. I never thought my pretty close, if not best, friend would ever attract me. One night, we were at a bar, I got cold. He took off his favorite jacket, draped it over my shoulders, and hugged me. I felt something I will never forget. Her shirt button popped open, revealing more cleavage than she had ever shown me before. We ended up getting married. We're about to celebrate our 10th anniversary. That little accident turned into a happy moment. We stepped outside a party for some air. I asked her if my eyeliner had smudged. She cupped my jaw in her hands and gently, but firmly, turned my face side to side, then tapped my cheek and said it looked fine. I couldn't even thank her, just nodded and tried to regain composure. Similar thing happened to me, my friend asked me to check if something was in her eye. I leaned in close, saw it, and carefully removed it. When I pulled back, she was looking at me shyly. We started dating about 5 months later. She told me she fell for me at that very moment. She asked me to help her pick outfits for the weekend and modeled them for me all morning in various outfits, including lingerie, changing right there in front of me. I'm a very touch-oriented person, he isn't. But he always stays close to me when we're out and it's chilly, sits next to me at work meetings, and always puts his hand on the small of my back when I walk near him. Nothing overtly sexual, but the fact that he doesn't do this with anyone else, oh boy. When I was 26, I went to a bar with my 25-year-old friend. I ran into an acquaintance who kept hitting on me and was too pushy. I rejected him. He immediately started lashing out at my friend, blaming him for why I wasn't going home with him, calling him a buzzkill. My friend stood his ground, arms crossed, calm, and in a steady voice told the guy to back off. Seeing him stay so composed in such a tense situation was insanely sexy. She showed me how her thigh tattoo moves when she bends over. I was 19, she was wearing short shorts. That was enough to make me blush. She called me sir. I didn't even know that could be arousing. At a party, I spilled alcohol on my hands, they got sticky, and I hate that. She licked my hand clean. I was embarrassed and turned on. Probably when my friend joked that I was so submissive, then grabbed my collar while trying to prove his point. I literally melted, mouth open like he flipped a switch. Sleepover with friends, she and I were the last ones awake, lying under a blanket on the bed. She shifted her leg so it touched mine slightly. All I could think was, please don't get hard. Years later, she admitted she did it on purpose. We've been together for about 10 years now. Every time I had to sit on a close male friend's lap in a car, it took all my self-control to sit calmly. She had a habit of biting me when I teased her. One time, while we were gaming on my PS4, she hugged me from behind. I said something funny, she couldn't bite my finger, so she bit my ear. I had no idea that could turn me on so much. She moaned slightly when I whispered in her ear. We had talked about how blowing in her ear turns her on. I did it again for fun, we both got aroused and kissed. Several times after that, things got weird between us. She fed me from her spoon. I still don't know if she was flirting or just comforting me. I was late to a birthday party after arguing with my dad. She asked why, I explained. I was upset. She was already eating, so she fed me while her chin rested on my shoulder, her face close enough to kiss my cheek. I stared ahead pretending to still think about the fight, but inside my mind was screaming, what is she doing? We used to live together. One day, she leaned back on the couch and I caught a glimpse of her through her shorts. No idea if she felt the air or did it on purpose. I was too young and got flustered. Similar thing happened, we were swimming, she sat on a ledge in shorts, and my eyes were level with her crotch. I'm 90% sure she did it on purpose because she looked me in the eye and didn't move to cover herself. Nothing happened, but that image stuck in my head for a long time. Hanging out with friends, they started playing with a ball, and I sat by some flowers I wanted to draw. Suddenly, the ball flew toward me, and one friend jumped to block it inches from me. He hovered around for 5 more minutes to make sure I was okay, then patted my head. We weren't normally that physical, but it became normal after that. I went to boop her nose, she licked my fingertip. I ran to the bathroom, supposedly to wash my hand, but really to hide an erection. He never leaves the gym and wanted to show me how strong his back had gotten, took off his shirt and flexed. I stayed after school chatting with my English teacher, who also ran the drama club. A girl I probably had a crush on approached us. She was playing Ursula in the upcoming musical, and the teacher gave her a bag of costume items to try. Among them was a tight purple corset and tiny black thong, which she'd probably modeled for us. That was the most thrilling moment of my entire high school experience. I fought hard not to show my embarrassment or the bulge in my pants. Also, I should mention I have a thing for corsets.